Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Calvin Tobin Show. I am your host, Calvin Tobin. Today we have a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. Alright, last night we had the Colorado Avalanche taking on the New York Islanders in a tough matchup. As for Colorado, they were looking to snipe their way to history. Now, what kind of history, you may ask? Well, after this 5-3 victory over the New York Islanders, they got their 40th win of the season. Now, what's so special about this specific 40th win? Well, Colorado's 40th win was won in the second fewest games in NHL history in 54 games. The fewest is held by the 2015-2016 Washington Capitals, as they did it in 53 games. Now, for New York, they were able to give Colorado a run for their money in the first two periods by manipulating their defensive formations, keeping them off balance, and making them fight for their puck. And their defense did hold their own for a while, as they were able to out-hit and block Colorado throughout the entire game. But that was still no match for Colorado's offensive skill and power. Colorado's skilled players brought this victory home in great fashion after a strong 3-goal period. And in that third period, Colorado was able to flip the switch on New York and make them fight for the puck and win in defensive fashion as well. Now, Colorado has multiple playmakers, from McKinnon to Kadri to Landeskog to Makar. Now, speaking of Makar, Colorado in total wasn't the only thing that made history last night. Makar made history for himself as well, as he tied the record for most consecutive games with a point by a Colorado defenseman, and it was 9 straight games. Now, the record is 16. Now, he is a great true superstar. He is only in his 3rd year. I think he totally has the capability of doing this. And if he does, this just shows more and more of how truly special Cale Makar's career might be. Now, speaking of someone special, John Morant is unbelievably ridiculous. He has had 3 40-plus point games over his last 4 games. It went 46, 44, 52. John Morant is so ridiculous. But before he got his 44-point game, he had a 20-point game before that. But other than that, John Morant is so ridiculous, and he is an elevated version of Allen Iverson, and it is showing like crazy. John Morant is turning Memphis around. The last couple of years, he is in his 3rd year, and he is helping the Memphis Grizzlies turn their entire organization slowly around. And his 3rd year was the charm, because now they are 43-20 and are the 3rd seed in the Western Conference. John Morant is so ridiculous. He is only getting started, because he went from winning 33 games his first year, 38 his second year in total, and now we just passed the All-Star break. We're only a couple games past the All-Star break, and Memphis is already at 43 games. John Morant has put Memphis back on the map, and this is only gonna get better. John Morant is a truly ridiculous player, and he's got a superstar matchup coming within the next couple of days when he faces Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics. Who's going to have the more outstanding game? Because this is a matchup of the future, and it could be maybe a rival that we see for a long time to come. But who's gonna have a better matchup? Is it gonna or better game? Is it gonna be Jason Tatum or is it gonna be Ja Morant? As of what Ja Morant is doing right now, there's a good chance that Ja Morant is going to have a scarier game. And here's the crazy thing: when Zion Williamson and Ja Morant both got drafted, everyone is expecting Zion Williamson to have the more dominant career because all he had to do was go 1 year through Duke and got all the way up to the Elite Eight before getting eliminated by UCF, and then and Ja Morant, he did all 4 years at Murray State, and both those guys were the number 1 and number 2 pick. And everyone's expecting Zion Williamson to have a better career because of how ridiculous his 1 year was at Duke. But as soon as Ja Morant started his career, it looked like it was completely flipped because Ja Morant is a more skilled and all-around player. The dude can pass. The dude can rebound. If you're not careful, he can steal the ball every which way on every possession if you give him the chance. And Ja Morant is easily going to win Most Improved Player this year because he went from 19 points per game last year to 27 points per game this year. And Ja Morant's scary career is only getting started. And speaking of scary, Duke is in a scary situation right now. Not that they're a bad team or that they have anything bad that's going on. It's actually very unfortunate because their legendary coach, greatest college basketball head coach of all time, Coach K, is finally retiring. So sad to see a legend go, but everybody's time come. He is the winningest college head coach of all time with over 1,000 wins. He also has 5 national championships to show for it, with his last one being in 2015. Coach K, last home game is going to be this Saturday, and you can only end a home game no better than this. It's actually going to be Duke versus North Carolina, and we know how crazy this rivalry is. Like, always good. It doesn't matter if one team is unranked and the other team is the number 1 team in the country, and it doesn't matter if either team is both ranked in this game. It is always an insane game every single time this game is put on. And what better way to end at home than against your biggest rivalry and the biggest rivalry in college basketball history. Now, we all wish that Coach K can win it all as a going away gift, but Ray Lewis is the last player, a former legendary NFL linebacker, is the last player to win a championship on a going away retirement. He's the last player to do it, and or a coach. Can Coach K do it? Can he win a national championship before he officially retires? I really hope so. And also, speaking of some unfortunate news, we got Derek Jeter stepping down from the Miami Marlins as the CEO. And in his words, he did turn this organization around, but he feels like it's the best and right way to step away because it was a completely different franchise from when he started being the CEO till now, and right now he feels is the best way to step away. Now, what is Derek Jeter's next step? Is he going to become an MLB analyst? Is he going to become another CEO of a different team? We will see. But here's the biggest unfortunate news. MLB and MLB owners could not come to an agreement on February 28th, and because of that, MLB Commissioner Robert Manfred canceled the first 2 regular season series of the season. So we still get opening day to a point, but still the fact that that the first two series of the regular season are canceled just shows that Robert Manfred cannot get things done. Like, what happened to baseball? This game used to be a lot more fun to watch, and it should be even 10 times more fun to watch because we got 10 times more skilled players than it was 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years ago. And the fact that like MLB is slowly losing viewers over time and they're not enjoying the game as much just shows that the MLB commissioner in Rob Manfred and the MLBPA are not on the same page, and looks like will not be on the same page for a while, because the only thing that they agreed on was a couple weeks ago being a draft, having a draft lottery pick and having a universal designated hitter. It is very, very unfortunate because millions of people love baseball and they want to love and watch this game, but because of this the MLB staff organization, it's just slowly making this sport not as fun as it used to be. Alright, that's the end of the Calvin Tobin Show. Please subscribe to my channel at Calvin Tobin Show so you don't miss out on any sports media, and please follow me on Instagram at Calvin Tobin Show so you don't miss out on any sports news whatsoever, and I'm out.